and I'd just like to welcome everyone to our demo today on SD Easy Customise. I hope you can all hear me okay. I'm Alice. I'm the project manager for our Dynamics 365 ISV apps here in Simply Dynamics. So just to let you know before we start, you can download SD Easy Customise from AppSource. You can see it here, and you can get a free trial, a 30-day free trial. Once you've installed the app, you can go to your sandbox, and in your sandbox, you can, once you've installed it, you'll see our license activation and setup wizard. And once you're in there, you can just put in your company name, your email, click free trial, then just do next step. You can launch the role center from here, set up card, and see the product information page out on our Simply Dynamics shop webpage. And there'll be a user guide there as well. And you just click finish and you're up and running. So with Easy Customise, you can create, the whole idea with Easy Customise is that you can create your own custom fields on tables, your own bespoke fields on tables, and you can place these new fields that you've created onto pages and reports without using a developer. So here, for example, in our vendor table, I've created a new two new fields, vendor text and vendor date, place them onto two pages, onto the vendor list page and the vendor card. And when you publish the extension app that SD Easy Customise creates, you can see here the two new fields are there and can be ready to use. So for this example, I've just created a text field and a date field. With Easy Customise, you can also surface existing fields onto pages, and you can modify properties on existing fields, like updating tooltips. You can change maybe captions on a field. You can set a field as mandatory. You can change the field style. And again, all of that without writing code. So just an example here. Here's that item list, and here's some existing fields. So these are standard Business Central fields that aren't currently surfaced on the item list, and we can easily surface them here in Easy Customise. So it's just system created at date, time, and the date, say the record would be modified. And here you can have a different font style if you want, or as I say, give a tooltip. Just go in here into the items, and you can see here, these are the standard Business Central fields that we can surface using Easy Customise. Sorry, I'll just close out a window or two here. So also with Easy Customise, SD Easy Customise, you can place fields onto reports. You can also create API pages to use, and you can use these API pages for things like in Power BI reports, for example, again, without involving a developer at all. You can also write some trigger code. So this would be a little bit of coding, but you don't need to involve your developer. So for example, you can do some trigger code. You might want to have something, this is just an example, when this payment terms page opens, it just pops up a message. Just something very simple like that. You might want to do that maybe, say, for field validations or something like that would be another option there. So if we just go to the payment terms, we just get that message. So you could use that. I mean, that's just an example of how you can code within Easy Customise without involving a developer. Okay, so let's have a look at, I suppose the best thing would be to show you how to add some custom fields, and we'll surface them on some pages. So I'm going to take the example, first of all, I'm going to have a look at, we'll do the customer, extend out the customer. So we're going to add 3 new custom fields. So here you choose, sorry, I probably want to be quick there. So you go into your list of tables, you click, highlight the one you want to add your new fields to, click extend. And in here in the table, you go to your fields list, click new. And in here, we want to add a new field. and it's a normal field. We can add a field of normal field, a flow field, or a flow filter. But for this example, I'll just do a normal field. We can choose from the field type. So you've got all the list here. You can have a blob, a Boolean field code, so all the standard field types. So for this one, we're just going to keep it nice and simple, and we're just going to add a text field. Sorry, actually, we'll do a code field. The SD Easy Customize picks up the next available ID of the object. So this is picking up the next available ID that hasn't been used. So it's picked up 80,000. You can see all that in your setup. We'll go back to the setup later and I can show you that. We'll give the field a name. So let's just call it industry code. You can give it a caption, so you can have a different caption to your field name if you want to. We'll just keep it the same. You can give it a tooltip. And then you can just give it a field length. So as you're adding in your field, you can see here if there's any error messages coming up with what you've input so far. So this is just telling me that for a field type of code and for text, you need to give it a length. So let's just say we'll give it a length of 10. You just tab off that and you can see your error message is gone. So then we just set that status to pending. We go back out here, and from within the table where we've created the new field, we can place this new field onto certain pages. So we'll open this window here, and this brings up all the pages where the customer table is the source behind the page. So here we have our customer card and our customer list. So let's just select these two, and we'll add that new field, the industry code, to these two pages. And in here, you can say where you want to place the field. So let's just place it after the name. And on the list, it's asking us where we want to place this new field. So we've now placed that field onto 2 pages. I just want to add 2 more fields just to show you the different types of fields you can add. We'll add a new field, again, a normal field. We'll add an option field this time. So again, you just select from your options, from your field type, and we'll select option. You can see now the field number that SD Easy Customize is going to use has gone up by 1. It's going to now use 80,001. We'll give it a field name. Let's just call it customer classification. We leave the field caption. Just give it a tooltip. We'll give it the option member. So this is going to be what you're going to see in the option list for this field. So if we want to give the first option will be blank, just give it a space. We do our comma and we'll just put in options of blank, which is the first one there, low, medium, and high. And again, we can see here, if you've noticed, there's an error message here, but that's just waiting for us to fill in the option members. And then finally, just place that. Sorry. Back in here, set that to pending. You need to have the field status set to pending before you can place it on the pages. So again, let's just place this on the customer card and on the customer list. Here on the customer list. So we can see that the industry code that we've already added, we can see it there in green, and it's prefixed with an SDC. That's just to, I suppose, differentiate. All fields would need a prefix before it, and this is just the prefix here that we're using. And then one last field, just to show you an example of a flow field. Sorry, just click on new. So instead of the field class of normal, we're going to have a look at a flow field. We're going to do a flow field from the customer table. It's going to be, this new field is going to be an integer. And we're going to have a count of items on the sales order, say for this customer. Okay. we are going to do it as account. And we're going to have an account of table 37, which is the sales line. The drill down page that we're going to use will be the sales line page, which is 516. And all the list of the pages are here. It's just I've prepped this so I know what fields I'm looking for. But when you drill down here into a blank, when you haven't entered anything, you'll see the list of all the pages and tables that are available there for you to choose from. So what we're saying here now is we're going to create a flow field. It's going to be a count of the items from the sales line for this customer. So we'll do our flow field filters here now. So we can add in that it is going to be, I'm going to have a look up here. So we just want maybe say documents that from the count of the items from the sales orders. So we'll choose a document type. The filter type here, it's going to be a constant. We can put in a value of order. Also, we want to have it based on the sell to customer. That's what we link the customer table to. That's just going to be a field, and we're going to link that to the number field on the sales line. Finally, our final field, we're going to have, we just want to look at the items. That's going to be a constant. So I'm just showing you here, not only can you just add fields like a simple code field, or, you know, add a field, custom field to maybe create hold additional information, a text field. You can also create flow filters as well and surface them on the pages. Okay, so that should be okay for us there. Perfect. Okay, and we're going to set that status to pending. Okay, and one other thing I'll show you now before we publish our extension, and she'll just go in. I think I ran ahead of myself there. Can filter it down to the pages that have just been extended. I forgot to place these onto the last one onto pages, so we place the selected as well. And again, we'll just go with the customer card and list. And we'll just add it in after that. Okay. So we've created 3 new fields there, 3 custom fields without having to get a developer involved. We've placed them on 2 pages, to 2 pages, the customer list and the customer card. And I'm just going to show you now how you can place existing fields, existing standard Business Central fields, or indeed other fields you might have that might come from another extension app that's been installed on. You can surface those onto pages. So let's have a look here at our vendor list. And we're just going to add here, place the table fields. So we want to, after our vendor date, let's just add the system created at and modified at. Oops, sorry. Okay. So put those on the vendor list. Just edit that here, and we'll give them a style. Oh, not those two, sorry. Now we'll do blue and bold, bold and green, just so they stand out. Just get tooltip. Okay, so we've done our few changes here for the moment. What I'm just going to show you now before we publish our changes that we've made, and just kind of give you a bit of the technical background and how this all hangs together. So when you make these changes in Easy Customise, generally when you're trialing it out, or when you are trialing it out, you'll be doing it in your sandbox or UAT environment. And when you're making your changes, Easy Customise, when you've published the extension app in a UAT, it creates an extension app, so a standalone separate app that contains all these changes. So you'll have installed in your UAT, you'll have the Easy Customise app installed. but you'll also have, once you publish your changes, you'll also have an extension app, and that's the extension app there that's being created from Easy Customise. So it's a separate app completely. So that's how that works. And to do this, what you do, I'll just show you some other things as well, how you get your information there. When you've installed it initially, you can choose what to call your app. So we've just called that there, just to differentiate who's published the app. By default, it just takes the company name that you've originally installed the app in. The version increments each time you make another change. You can give it a prefix. You're saying where the environment name, it just picks up some system information, and you can give it a starting object ID and field number. There's also a mode here that by default is set to add. So what that just means is by default you should set it to add, because that would mean if you created a new table, a field on a table, but using add, you won't be able to delete the field by mistake. But if you have it a force, it will override the changes that allow you to delete a field. You don't want to delete a field if you've started to use it to store data. This will be one of your customized fields, so we'd recommend you have that always set to add. I just have it set to force today, just because I was setting up data earlier and removing and cleaning up some stuff. So we're ready now. We've made our changes. And we're now going to publish our extension app. So I'll just click that there. So in the background now, Easy Customise is creating that app that will reflect the changes we've made there, just adding our 3 fields onto the customer table and place them onto pages, and also placing 2 fields onto the vendor list. So another thing just to note, when you first open Easy Customise, you're going to be prompted to update your symbol files. You can see there's an action here to do this. And what symbol files are, they're references to all the objects, properties and functions in your Dynamics 365 Business Central environment. And Easy Customise uses these symbol files to build an index of all the tables and pages and objects in your system, so it knows what tables you have there already, or what pages you have, reports, etc. So you're going to need some permissions to be able to download the symbols. You're going to be asked to sign into one of the Microsoft development servers. So you'll be prompted for your own login from your environment. You'll need to have super permissions, extension management permissions, and also Dynamics 365 snapshot debug permissions to download these symbols. So it's kind of intended for users, super users in the system would be using the app. Okay, so we're just waiting for that new extension to upload here. It normally takes about 2 or 3 minutes. Also, just to note, here we go, app is deployed. I'll tell you later now about what I was just going to say. Okay, so let's have a look there now. So we can see from our vendors, just refresh on that. So we can see here we have our 2 new tables, our fields here, the existing fields surfaced onto the vendor list. And this would be different than the standard Business Central personalization, which you're probably aware of. With the personalization, it's done on a user basis. Per user basis, your personalization is your own. Whereas using Easy Customise, once you publish this app, I suppose it's like a standard app. When you load it in your environment, it's loaded up for all your companies within your environment and for all your users as well. And our other change that we made, if we go out to the customers, so we've added an industry code. See that here. We've added our customer classification. And then we have our items on the sales orders. So we can see for this customer here, actually I'll just go in and I'll add. So our industry code, let's just call it retail, customer classification. And we can see here the items on the sales orders. We can drill in through that. So you can see here, these are all the items on the sales orders for that customer. If we navigate through to the other customer, I can see it's different from that one there. So there's our three new fields that we've set up and that have been surfaced on the pages. There's also a number of other things you can do in Easy Customise. You can also choose, I'll just show you something else. You can create what we call expression fields. So I have an example here in the sales order. So you might want to place a field onto a table and, a field onto a page, but this field would be built up by an expression, almost say, I suppose, a calculated field or a record field that you show on the page. So for example, here, I've created a new field called posting date -1, just to keep it nice and simple. And this posting field, I'll just finish it there. Can edit the expression. All this is it just takes the posting date that's on the sales order and just takes 1 day away from it. It's just an example of how you could create a calculation based on an existing field on a table and surface it onto a page. So I've placed that onto the the sales orders. So if we just go in here now, we look at the sales orders. You can see there's the posting date, standard posting date, 2nd of the 4th, and 1 day. That's our calculated, our expression field, we'll call, would probably be a better term. Our expression field is there. So it just gives you another example of what you can do using Easy Customise. One other thing I'd like to show you, which is a good feature of Easy Customise, is this idea of morphing. Morphing fields from one table to another. So, for example, we've created this field. I'll go back in here to tables. Let's filter it down to what we've extended. We've created this industry code field on our customer table. But maybe we might want this field to morph or follow through onto the sales order table, and from the sales order table onto the sales invoice header, for example. So I can show you how to do that. So this would be, beneficial for where you might have, a field that your customer field on the customer card, a bespoke field that you want to follow through and update right down through the other tables, that customer table or item table, or you could put it on a vendor table. It could even be morphed down. If you put a field on an item table, you could continue morphing it on down until it hits, say, the item ledger, for example. But we'll just keep it easy for this one here. We're going to morph this field, this industry code field, and we're going to place it on a sales order. So if I just highlight that field there, that record industry code, click field morphisms. So Easy Customise is saying, okay, this is a new field. It's on the customer table. What other tables can we morph this field to? So we'll just go with the sell to customer. Sorry. I want to highlight that one. I'm going to go enable. And Easy Customise is saying, okay, so you want to morph this field from the customer table to the sales header, but it doesn't exist in the sales header. So you get an option for Easy Customise to create it for you now. So we say yes to that. And then you can see on the destination, see here on the destination table or card, it's created that field there on the industry code field from the customer table to the sales header. So we want to place this now onto our sales order. And we'll just add it in after the posting date. So you can choose where you want to place it there. So now I'm on the sales header table. So I now want to morph this field from the sales header onto posted sales invoices. So we'll do field morphism. So we could choose to morph it to any of these other pages that would be linked to the sales header. But just for this example, we'll just choose the posted sales invoice header. So we'll enable the field morphism on this. Again, Easy Customise can see that that industry code field doesn't exist in the sales invoice header. Would you like to create it? We'll say yes. And then here's the field that's being created. So let's place this on our posted sales invoice, on the invoice and on the list. So this is on our posted sales invoice, the document. We'll just put it after. So you can scroll down here and choose where you want to put it, before or after the highlighted field. And this is the list. So just to keep it easy, we'll just place it there. Okay, so that's a few changes we've made. We're after morphing the industry code field from the table, customer table, through to the sales order, placed it on the sales order page, morphed it from the sales order and placed it on the posted sales invoice header. So we'll just go back. Select all of this. And we'll just publish our extension app. So when you're using Easy Customise, SD Easy Customise in a sandbox environment, to allow users trial it, see how to add new fields and place fields onto pages, maybe modify the existing properties and tooltips, all the options you have. You can publish the extension app that Easy Customise creates, which is this one here. In this example, it's this app here. This is the extension app. We allow it to publish to the sandbox straight away. But if you were in a production environment when you're using SD Easy Customise to make your changes for your production environment and to be using it not on a free trial basis, you don't have the option to publish the extension app directly into the production environment. But what you do is you create and download the extension app. So it downloads the app file for you. You can take that app file, upload it into your sandbox using the extension management, just to test out the changes that have been made, because you don't want to be making changes in a live environment, production environment. When you're happy that the extension app looks okay in your sandbox environment, you can then take the app that you downloaded from your live and install it using extension management. The extension management in Business Central. Okay, so let's have a look here now. We'll go to our customers. Just go with this guy here, a data in our Cronus database. We will create a new document. So we surfaced that industry code field we morphed it onto the orders. And why can I not see the orders here from this list? There we go, my goodness. Okay, so we'll add a new order. Oh, so that there was because we've updated the orders using Easy Customise, it just gives us that message that an administrator has changed a table or a page. And that would be standard if you're loading up apps into an environment. Okay, so we have this adatum. It's after picking up the retail code from the customer table by default. Just select anything here. This is our order. And we are just going to start order. I'll ship and invoice it. And we'll see then that that industry code field has morphed from the sales order onto the posted sales invoice. And we can see it's there. Okay, so I've just gone through, I suppose, the main features of Easy Customise. We have a lot of other features, as I say. You can place fields onto reports. For that, you'd need to have your report developer from Visual Studio. Your API pages, you can choose to create easily. You just go in and you just pick a table. You can choose to select all that you want to add all the fields from the table or some of the selected fields on the table to the API page, and Easy Customise will publish that as an API page for you. The code triggers, you can also have trigger content. You can have, say, for certain property content as well, if we go in here. So you can set fields on tables to be not editable, and just various facilities and functions like that. So there's quite a good few features in it there. So we're getting the prompt here now. So this happens at maybe, I think it's after an hour or two. It checks to see that your symbol files, that if they're not up to date, and would you like to refresh them now? So if we say yes, you just get a code here. I won't run through the whole thing with you now, but you get a code here, and it's going to bring you to Microsoft.com for device login. So you can just choose copy code and open page. And it just brings you in here then. You just paste. And then it prompts you there that you're going to log into one of the Microsoft development servers in the Netherlands. And in your own environment, it would be your own login there that you'd use. So that's just how the symbols would be updated and downloaded. And as I said, the symbols, they're all the references that from the Microsoft servers for the objects and the properties and functions in your Dynamics 365 Business Central environment. And Easy Customise, as I said, uses these symbol files to build up an index of all your objects that you have in your system. And that's how it can see where see what tables and fields and pages exist there. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions, sorry, that just failed because I didn't enter my details. If you have any questions, you can either ask now, or if you'd like to contact Aileen or myself, we'd be happy to follow up with you. There's a user guide available on our product page, our Simply Dynamics product page for Easy Customise. And also there's the user guide is available out on the App Source page. It's there as well. Okay, Aileen?
Okay, I think we're good, Alice. Thank you very much.
Thank
you,
great
everyone. Webinar. Thank you very much. And thanks
Apologies
to all the
again
attendees.
For the technical difficulties at the beginning, but we with me connecting in, but we got there in the end. Perfect.
We did. Yes. Sorry, Alice, before you go, I think there's a question there in the chat. Can it be used with on-premise or cloud only? Somebody has asked that question there.
It's cloud. Excuse me. We have it targeted for cloud only, so it can't be used for on-premise. It would be cloud only.
Great. And one other question: will a recording of the session be shared? Yes, the recording will be shared with all attendees. And thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.